Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 1788. Guys, if you're following along on YouTube, jump on over to the WODdoc.com. Check out all the full-length videos that we house there. If you're one of the lucky few that did Murph yesterday, you're probably walking around like me with the Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, like where they don't necessarily get... Now this one always doesn't straighten, but it's weird that this one doesn't straighten, right? Also, you probably have some balls underneath your lats. It almost feels like your arms don't want to come down to your sides, and that's because of all the amount of pulling and pushing that you did yesterday wearing a vest. Volume alone is enough to sometimes just create that much of disruption in the tissue, create intracellular swelling, and now we're at a spot where it just kind of hurts to extend our arms. Yesterday I showed you what I would do at home with some myofascial flossing. Today, what I would really like to be able to do is get a little bit more into the lats, but you can do lats and biceps with a bench here. I have a squat bench, not a squat bench, but a bench press bench, but you can do this with any type. A chair will work as well, okay? What we're going to try to do here is first just get some flexion of the arm, and that's going to be able to work out the lats and be able to extend the lats. So what we're going to do is start with our arms pretty wide. We're just going to start pushing our butt back, and this is going to push our shoulders into flexion. And if you're like me, you already feel this in the lat area, underneath the arms especially. And the goal would be just to get into a position where we can start to get our head onto the bench itself, and then we can start to flatten our chest out, right? And this might take 10 repetitions or so before it doesn't hurt just to get into that position. So right now, for me, I'm starting to receive tension just as soon as I get up here. So this is kind of like an elevated child's pose position. And the goal then would be just to start to decrease the space between my two forearms here. And you can see just when I went from right here to right here, that's pretty much my limited amount of space. Now I don't know if I can get back in. So what I could do here when I get into that position is just start to squirm from one side to the other. And this is where the bicep stuff can also come in, because my ultimate goal is to be able to get to a position that looks like this. But if I just can't get there yet, then I have my hands together, I can keep one arm down and I can start to kind of wedge my body into the side that I'm working on. So in this case, I'm working on my left side. Not ideally, but what would happen is my arm would stay down towards the bench as I did this. So I got full arm flexion, full shoulder flexion, but my arm itself is still hard. It's still stuck in that flex position. So I can use the opposite hand, and I could just, again, do that same thing and limit the amount of shoulder flexion, or limit the amount of elbow flexion that I have. And now I can release both sides here. I can do the same thing to the other side. And then hopefully, as I get into that position and pull my butt back and try to sneak my head through, I can get a little bit more range. But if you guys are like me and have a bunch of swelling in your arms and in your lats, you have to remember to keep moving, right? When you don't move that much, you're going to get really, really stiff. And starting that motion again is going to hurt. And these are going to lead to tendinopathies and tendinitises, and you're going to end up in the office here. So movement, and stretching. Work into those corners. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be something that gets those tissues starting to release. Questions and comments, guys, please post them below. Otherwise, we're here each and every day optimizing function to optimize performance.